Locker rooms are loud. Coming out used to be a whisper. Tonight, Silent Fame steps onto fields, rinks, and pools to follow 7 athletes who ran headfirst into the macho myth and left a door in it. From West Yorkshire scrums to Missouri draft rooms, from Olympic platforms to MLS finals, their truths didn't end their seasons. They rewrote the playbook. This isn't a rainbow highlight reel, it's a ledger of injuries, headlines, and victories that counted twice. Stay to the final whistle for the moments the industry still tiptoes around, and the proof that pride isn't a penalty, it's power. Lace up. 1. Keegan Hirst, breaking barriers in rugby's heartland. As the sun sets over West Yorkshire, a towering figure steps onto the rugby pitch, embodying raw strength and northern grit. Keegan Hirst, a 6'5" prop forward with rugged good looks and a thick Yorkshire accent, commands respect both on and off the field. A stalwart of the Batley Bulldogs, Hirst built his reputation through bone-crunching tackles and fearless leadership, even captaining his side in the rugged heartland of rugby league. In August 2015, at the peak of this macho sport, Hirst shattered a long-standing barrier. He became the first British Rugby League professional to come out as gay while still playing. Announcing his truth in a candid Sunday Mirror interview, he admitted, "I tick every macho box. How could I be gay? I'm from Batley, for goodness sake," voicing the very stereotypes he would soon defy. The reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Fans and teammates flooded social media with support, praising the Yorkshireman's courage and authenticity. Far from distracting him, living openly only fueled Hirst's performance. The following season, he led Batley to one of their most successful campaigns in recent memory, even notching 40 tackles in a single match to propel his team in the Challenge Cup. Hirst's journey continued with stints at Wakefield Trinity in the Super League and a storybook comeback with Batley in 2022 after a brief retirement, proving his passion for the game never dimmed. Off the field, he embraced a role as a trailblazer. Hirst became an outspoken advocate for LGBTQ+ inclusion in sports, proudly using his platform to foster a more inclusive rugby culture and challenge the notion that toughness and authenticity are mutually exclusive. His genuine smile and lad-next-door charm made him a beloved figure, showing that a rugby warrior can also be a champion for change. If Keegan's story inspired you, join our team, hit subscribe, and share your thoughts about his brave journey in the comments. 2. Ian Roberts, the trailblazer of Aussie Rugby League. Step into the annals of rugby league history, and the presence of Ian Roberts looms larger than life. Standing 6'5", 196 cm, tall and packing 112 kg of pure power in his prime, Roberts was a fearsome forward who dominated Australian Rugby League in the 1980s and 90s. With a chiseled physique and an imposing on-field demeanor, he struck fear into opponents from South Sydney to Manly. Across 213 first-grade games and 13 test caps for Australia, Roberts built a reputation as a hard-hitting workhorse, the kind of player whose tackle count was as legendary as his resilience. But his most courageous act wouldn't come in a tackle or try. It came in 1995, when Ian Roberts made history as the first high-profile Australian sportsman and first rugby player in the world to publicly come out as gay. In an era when the rugby culture was fiercely masculine and often unwelcoming, Roberts' decision, revealed in a weekly magazine at the height of his playing days, sent shockwaves through the sporting world. The response, remarkably, was supportive in many quarters. Teammates and fans rallied behind him, proving that even in a hypermasculine arena, there was room for courage and acceptance. Roberts continued to play at the elite level until 1998, showing that authenticity only enhanced his strength on the field. After hanging up his boots, he transformed into a multi-talented figure, dabbling in acting. You can spot him in Star Wars Episode 82, Attack of the Clones, and using his celebrity to fight homophobia in sports. In recognition of his advocacy, Roberts was awarded the Order of Australia Medal in 2020 for his services to rugby league and the LGBTQ+ community, a fitting honor for a man who helped change the game's culture. To this day, Ian's legacy is that of a pioneer who proved that toughness and tenderness can coexist, inspiring a generation of athletes to live their truth. For more legendary stories like Ian's, subscribe now and let us know in the comments how his trailblazing courage moves you. 3. Michael Sam. Defying the NFL odds with pride. Under the bright lights of the NFL draft stage in May 2014, Michael Sam stood as a bundle of nerves and determination. A standout college defensive end from the University of Missouri, where he earned SEC Co-Defensive Player of the Year honors in 2013, Sam was no stranger to overcoming obstacles. But on draft day, he was about to conquer a challenge unlike any other. With the 249th overall pick in the 7th round, the St. Louis Rams made history by selecting Michael Sam, making him the first openly gay player ever drafted into the NFL. The moment his name was called, Sam was filmed receiving the life-changing call, tears streaming as he kissed his boyfriend in celebration, an image that became an enduring symbol of progress in sports. In that powerful instant, the world saw not just a football player achieving his dream, but a young man proudly embracing who he is. President Barack Obama even congratulated Sam and the NFL for taking an important step forward in America's journey toward equality, underscoring the cultural significance of his achievement. Though Michael Sam's NFL career was brief, a fierce preseason gave way to challenging roster cuts, his impact was anything but small. He proved during training camp that he could sack quarterbacks as well as anyone, leading the Rams in sacks during the 2014 preseason and silencing many doubters. While he didn't play a regular season snap, Sam's courage paved the way for others. His journey continued in the Canadian Football League, and today he remains an advocate for LGBTQ+ inclusion in sports, frequently speaking about mental health and the importance of being oneself. Michael Sam's legacy lives on every Sunday when players take the field, knowing that authenticity won't bar them from the game they love. If Michael's proud stand struck a chord with you, join our huddle, subscribe, and comment to share what his story means to you. 4. Dan Palmer, the intellectual prop who came out. Scrum first. In the world of rugby union's gritty front row, Dan Palmer was always a bit different, a thinking man's prop nicknamed the Professor by teammates for his analytical mind. Picture a 6'2", 188 meters, 245 lb powerhouse who could dissect an opposing scrum's weakness on a whiteboard just as easily as he could bench press a small car. Palmer rose through Australian rugby with methodical precision, starring for the Ness Waratahs and Ackett Brumbies, and even earning a Wallabies test cap in 2012. But behind the bruising scrummager and meticulous student of the game was a man waging an internal battle. In October 2020, years after he'd hung up his boots, Dan Palmer made headlines with a heartfelt 2,000-word column in the Sydney Morning Herald, revealing to the world that he is gay and detailing the private torment he endured while playing. With that essay, he became the first Australian Rugby Union international to come out publicly, joining only a handful of male rugby pros worldwide, the likes of Wales's Gareth Thomas, to live openly. Palmer's coming out story was a study in courage and vulnerability. He wrote of sleepless nights and the mental health struggles that once drove him to the brink. The rugby community's response was overwhelmingly positive, a public outpouring of support led by former teammates and even rivals. Hundreds of messages poured in from around the globe, thanking him for his honesty and the hope he sparked. The Wallabies prop, who had always been more comfortable doing hard work in the shadows, suddenly found himself a visible role model. Today, Dan balances a career as a scientist and academic, ever the scholar, with advocacy for inclusion in sports. He challenges stereotypes with calm eloquence, proving that a rugby player can be both tough as nails and open-hearted. Palmer's story is a testament that sometimes the strongest thing a player can do is lay down their armor and speak their truth. Inspired by Dan's blend of pride and bravery? Subscribe to our channel and drop a comment. Let's celebrate the courage it takes to scrum down against prejudice. 5. Tom Daley, from Olympic podium to proud LGBTQ+ icon. High above the diving pool, Tom Daley stands poised on the 10-meter platform, an Olympic champion wrapped in the Union Jack and a rainbow flag in equal measure. The British diver's megawatt smile and graceful athleticism made him a global star as a teenager, but it's his personal journey that truly sets him apart. In December 2013, at just 19 years old, Tom Daley surprised the world by releasing a candid YouTube video announcing he was in love with a man. In that moment, the poster boy of British sport transformed into one of its most influential LGBTQ+ role models. Fans watched as Tom spoke from the heart about finding love and happiness, shattering stereotypes with the same ease that he executes an inward 3-1-2 somersault tuck. The support was immediate and heartfelt. Olympic teammates, celebrities, and millions of admirers rallied behind the young diver's honesty. Daley's career only soared higher from there. Having already earned 2 Olympic bronze medals, he reached the pinnacle of his sport at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, held in 2021, where he captured a long-awaited gold medal in the men's synchronized 10 meters platform dive. On the podium, Tom beamed with pride, not only as a champion athlete, but as an openly gay man sharing the victory with his husband, Oscar-winning screenwriter Dustin Lance Black, cheering from afar. Who could forget the image of Tom knitting a rainbow-patterned Olympic sweater in the stands? A quiet celebration of identity. Off the deck, Daley has used his fame to advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, speaking out against anti-gay laws in sport, and becoming an inspiration to queer youth worldwide. His journey from a grieving 17-year-old after losing his father to cancer to a confident husband, father, and activist has been nothing short of dramatic. Tom Daley wears his Olympic gold and his pride with equal grace, showing the world that being true to yourself is the greatest victory of all. If Tom's proud triumphs moved you, make a splash by subscribing and tell us in the comments which part of his story inspired you most. 6. Robbie Rogers, scoring goals for equality in soccer. Under the California sun at the LA Galaxy Stadium, Robbie Rogers sprinted down the flank, the crowd roaring as he touched the ball for the first time. It was May 2013, and this moment was more than just a soccer debut. It was history in the making. Rogers had just become the first openly gay man to compete in a top North American professional sports league when he stepped on the pitch for the Galaxy. A talented winger who had represented the US national team and won an MLS Cup in 2008, Robbie's career had nearly ended before this day. Only a few months earlier, at age 25, he found himself in London grappling with a secret he felt he couldn't share. In February 2013, after a stint with Leeds United, Rogers came out as gay in a heartfelt blog post and simultaneously announced his retirement, fearing he could not be both an openly gay man and a professional footballer. The soccer world was stunned by the news, and by the idea that such a promising career might be cut short by intolerance. But like a true athlete, Robbie staged an inspirational comeback. Persuaded by the Galaxy and former US coach Bruce Arena that he could be a force for change, Rogers returned to the sport he loved just months after retiring. When he entered that match in May 2013 to a standing ovation, he instantly became a pioneer in the beautiful game. From that day forward, Rogers played with a new freedom. In 2014, he helped LA Galaxy win the MLS Cup, becoming the first openly gay male athlete to win a championship in US professional sports. His jersey bore the number 14, but it could have been a rainbow. He wore it with pride and resilience, inspiring countless fans and fellow players. Robbie's journey wasn't without its challenges. He later shared how he feared rejection and had to overcome years of ingrained self-doubt. Yet, by living his truth, he not only found personal happiness, he's now a proud father and married to filmmaker Greg Berlanti, but also left an indelible legacy in soccer. Rogers opened the door for future generations, including players like Australia's Josh Cavallo, to be honest about who they are. His story is a reminder that the goals that count aren't only scored on the field, but also in the hearts and minds of people watching. Cheering for Robbie's courage? Subscribe to our channel and let us know in the comments how his story of pride and perseverance resonates with you. 7. Luke Prokop, skating out of the closet and into history. In a chilly ice rink in Western Canada, a 6'4" defenseman glides effortlessly across the blue line, eyes up and utterly focused. Meet Luke Prokop, a hockey talent with the wingspan of a condor and a heart of gold. As a junior star for the WHL's Seattle Thunderbirds, and originally the Calgary Hitmen, Prokop showed veteran poise under pressure. Case in point, in a tense 2022 playoff game against Kamloops, with the score tied late, Luke intercepted a dangerous pass and launched a perfect stretch assist to set up the game-winning goal, sending fans into a frenzy. But it was off the ice where Prokop delivered his most inspiring play. On July 19, 2021, at just 19 years old, Luke Prokop made sports history by announcing publicly that he is gay, becoming the first player under NHL contract to come out as gay. The news, posted to his Instagram, reverberated through the hockey world, a realm where such announcements had never been heard from an active male player. "Today, I am proud to tell everyone that I am gay," he wrote, words of courage that echoed in locker rooms across continents. The response was a standing ovation on a global scale. NHL teams, stars, and even the league commissioner lined up to praise Luke's bravery. The Nashville Predators, who drafted Prokop in 2020, fully backed their prospect, with captain Roman Josi saying the team was very proud of him and would support him 100%. Fellow players and fans flooded social media with messages of love and support, proving that hockey's family spirit runs deep. Since coming out, Luke has embraced the role of a role model with maturity beyond his years. He's used his platform to advocate for inclusion, partnering with organizations to ensure young LGBTQ+ athletes feel welcome in sports. On the ice, Prokop remains laser-focused on his NHL dream. Every practice, every game, adding to his skill set as a rock-solid defenseman. He carries the hopes of many, knowing that every shift he plays with authenticity is a win against prejudice. The roar of the crowd when Luke eventually makes his NHL debut will be about more than just hockey. It will be about celebrating honesty, courage, and the changing face of the sport. Ready for more uplifting journeys like Luke's? Don't miss out. Smash that subscribe button and tell us in the comments how you felt when you heard about Luke Prokop's courageous step forward. Every time they laced up afterward, the field looked different for someone watching from the stands. Progress isn't a parade, it's a series of brave first steps. A kiss on draft day, a London blog post, an Instagram note that echoed through ice-cold arenas. Which moment hit you hardest? Which sport still needs its breakthrough? NFL, rugby, soccer, hockey, or the Olympics? Tell us below and argue it out. Does visibility boost performance or raise the pressure? Drop your country flag plus sport emoji, then hit subscribe and ring the bell so these stories keep finding the next locker room that needs them. Share this with a teammate or coach. Silent Fame will be here for the next first, because truth doesn't bench you. It wins the game.